Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a brand new video. A few months back, I was casually playing League of Legends, lane in bot lane and unaware of something developing mid lane. The enemy Zilean, a Zilean 1 trick with a high mastery score, was being flamed during the game whilst being accused of being AFK. But this was weird to me, because from my perspective he was a strong factor towards their chances of winning. He was clearing the waves in lane to deny tower objectives, he was participating on team fights, and he was using his ultimate to save his teammates. So why was he being flamed for being AFK? I had to investigate, so join me on this adventure as we explore the legend of AFK Zilean. After finishing my game, there was one thing I needed to see, and that was his match history, and the results blew my mind. It was the number of deaths he had accumulated in the majority of his previous games, and that number was close to 0 on average. I had to check this out for myself. After analysing his replays, there were 3 main principles that he stuck by regardless of the game situation. Number 1 was pushing. Now, if you're starting with Dorian's ring in lane, you can double bomb the backline once levelling your time bomb to level 3. Doing so will instantly kill the caster minions at the back of the wave. This causes the lane to naturally push towards your opponent, as the caster minions are always the ones that push hardest. So, that's all he did, over and over again, making sure he was always the pusher and not the pushee. This set up the constant ability to react where he was needed on the map, helping his jungler with potential 2v1s against the enemy, with the enemy mid laner's inability to roam because of the wave constantly crashing under his tower. And when not roaming, he would simply do nothing, never overextending so that he was able to always prevent the enemy from ganking him and securing a kill. Now step number 2 was his build, always starting with Crown as his first item, giving him enough AP to always be able to clear waves, but also the tankiness from the item's passive to reliably survive. Then, in somewhat of an unorthodox way of building him, would always build tank, armour for the AD heavy comps with Frozen Heart and Omen, and magic resist items for the AP heavy comps, always Abyssal and Spirit Visage. This would solidify his status as being unkillable, with his tanky nature fooling people with the number of ultimates they would use to kill him, and him still being able to survive. And step 3 was a simple one, at least to him it was. Avoid death at all costs. This saw him somewhat as a mid lane support, sitting at the back line, saving his enemies with Chrono Shift, and CCing his enemies with the double bomb when they stacked. This playstyle allows him to stay out of danger of death, while still being a valid member of the game. So why did his teammates accuse him of being AFK? Well, that is a tricky one. There were opportunities where he could have helped more, but doing so increased his chance of his demise, so he didn't. Is that clever thinking? Or is that not putting your team first over the risk of a death? I mean, he hasn't fed his laner, so the game being lost isn't a direct result of his lane opponent, so you could argue that his actions are justified. And at the time of matching him, he had achieved Diamond 1 ranking with this method, so it was clearly working for him. Revisiting his account back now though, his win rate fell apart, going on a loss streak and potentially becoming banned, as I found this account with similar people with the same person's exact same philosophy. But even with his win rate becoming negative, one thing did remain, a 0.8 death ratio, so is he really truly to blame if he isn't feeding and is farming well, and has ended up a victim of the solo queue coin flip that people say? I'll leave that for you to decide for yourself. Wherever he is now, I'm sure there's one thing he won't be doing, and that's dying. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this type of video, please leave me a comment and let me know, and don't hesitate to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And as always, I'm Right Intel, and I'm out.